A Dallas family clear of Ebola, the new developments in the outbreak leading to optimism.
Plus, a Donna family plagued by plumbing problems. Have city officials addressed their woes? We'll let you know.
There's rain on the radar again this afternoon. We'll track it and have the latest with your First Warn 5 forecast. This Channel 5 News at 5 begins right now.
From the Valley's News Channel, this is Channel 5 News at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Oscar Ozana.
And I'm Carrie Zayas. Melissa Correa is off today. Topping our news, the roads in Piñitas are open once again after a chase there.
Yeah, the chase ended on Tom Gill Road in Marble. Let's go to our Kurt Chason, who's on the phone tracking the latest for us. Kurt?
That's right. Traffic's flowing smoothly here right now. That was not the case probably around 3:30 this afternoon. Chase started in La Jolla, as you said, and turned north on Tom Gill here. What apparently happened here at Tom Gill and Marble was there was some sort of an accident. And so what happened not too long ago was they had towed away a red passenger car. I have one witness account that indicates that the chase actually continued north from this location to mile 4, and that is where they apprehended at least one suspect. So no word on exactly how or why this chase started. We don't have any indication who the suspects are. No word from state troopers on whether any contraband has been confiscated or recovered as a result of this. But again, traffic flowing smoothly here in Piñitas, and we'll bring you more information as it becomes available to us. Reporting on the phone in Piñitas, Kurt Chase on Channel 5 News at 5.
The Nebraska doctors treating an American video journalist for Ebola say he could be released by the end of the week.
Ashka Mupko has been treated at the Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha since October 6th. He has been improving steadily since receiving an experimental drug and a plasma transfusion from Dr. Kent Brantley. Brantley survived Ebola.
Doctors say Nina Pham, one of the 2 Dallas nurses who contracted Ebola, also received some type of blood donation from Brantley. She continues her treatment. Missionary Nancy Wright-Bull and Dr. Rick Sacre received blood transfusions from Brantley too. They have since recovered. Well, the first group of people monitored for Ebola in Dallas are in the clear. The 21-day incubation period for those who had close contact with Thomas Eric Duncan ended today. Duncan, a Liberian national, died from Ebola at a Dallas hospital 2 weeks ago. Duncan's fiancée, her son, and 2 nephews were being monitored, but are now in the clear.
They're going to stay at the house that they're at now for a couple of days. Then they'll be moving to a single family rental for a time.
Yeah, the housing arrangements just mentioned by Dallas County Judge Clay Jenkins says the family will stay in temporary housing again for now. They will return later to their apartment community where the youngest of the boys goes to school.
There are still 120 more people being monitored for Ebola symptoms. They include more than 70 healthcare workers who cared for Duncan while he was in the hospital. This is a critical time for them. It has been 12 days since Duncan died. If one of them is infected, this is a time that symptoms will begin to show. If none show symptoms by November 7th, they too will be in the clear. Last week, 2 of Duncan's nurses, Nina Pham and Amber Vinton, as you just heard Oscar say, were diagnosed with Ebola. Pham was moved to a specialized hospital in Maryland. Vinson was taken to Atlanta. In Ohio, the bridal shop where Vincent visited before her diagnosis is now clean. Vincent traveled from Dallas to Ohio to plan her wedding. She visited a bridal shop with her bridesmaids, and as a precaution, the owner of that bridal shop decontaminated the business. No health agency told them to do so, but the health commissioner in Ohio is urging calm.
All of the contacts that we have are healthy. We're keeping track of these folks. We are visiting folks. We are calling folks, but we have a large staff that are in constant communication with all of these folks, and I can tell you they're all healthy today.
According to the state's Emergency Operations Center, the number of Ebola contacts in Ohio has gone up to more than 150.
In Spain, a nursing assistant is now Ebola-free. Teresa Romero Ramos contracted the deadly virus after caring for an Ebola patient in West Africa.
2 earlier tests showed that her Ebola was almost gone. She finally tested negative yesterday. Romero will remain in the hospital for a few more days, possibly even weeks, in order to gain her strength back. The World Health Organization says that Nigeria and Senegal are Ebola-free today. Today's announcement comes after more than 42 days of no new cases in the country.
And that is twice the disease's maximum incubation period. The disease continues to spread rapidly, though. In Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea, more than 4,500 people have died. And follow our Ebola coverage on air and online at krgv.com.
We've seen showers and a couple of thunder showers across the valley today, but mostly just fast-moving rainstorms. Take a look at what's going on. That's the Doppler network, and it's kind of fading in many areas. Still a pretty good shower up in northern Hidalgo County. We've been tracking the stuff right over the mid-valley. You can see it's raining right at the interchange in Farr right now, off to the east of that, but those showers waning as well. Current temperatures a little cooler where the rain has fallen, and you can see right now the island temperature is missing, but it's 83 in Harlingen, 84 in McAllen, 86 in Brownsville, dew points up to 71, so it's a little more humid out there. We'll take a look at what we can expect for the rest of the week. It does include some drier weather. That forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Early voting for the November general election has begun, and a record number of Texans are registered to vote. This election will be the biggest power shift in Texas government in a decade. Every major statewide office is changing hands, including the governor. Early voting runs through October 31st. Election day is November 4th.
And don't forget, you'll need to show a ID in order to vote. You can bring one of the following: Texas driver's license, Texas personal ID card, a U.S. passport book or card, Texas concealed handgun license, a military identification with photo, a U.S. citizenship certificate or certificate of naturalization with a picture. If you don't have any of these, you can get an election identification certificate at any Texas driver license office. And for more information on polling locations and to see who and what is on the ballot, log on to our website, krgv.com. Well, an update to a 5 on Your Side report we brought you last week. It appears plumbing problems will no longer be an issue for a Donna family.
Our Channel 5 Steve Solis joins us live with all the details. Steve.
Well, Carrie, the Cordova family has been dealing with sewage issues at their home for years. They often have trouble with toilets that don't flush and water that doesn't drain. They were so fed up, they called 5 on Your Side for help. Now, the city of Donna promised to fix this problem on Friday. The family says they never heard from the city. They also say it doesn't look like any repairs had been made. So today I caught up with Donna Public Works Director Frank de los Rios. He says the Cordova's plumbing problems are over.
We thought that we would have to excavate the line and repair the line because it's a 40 or 50-year-old clay line. But we just had it clogged on the line, a sewer backup, so we went ahead and took care of that.
Now, I told De Los Rios that the Cordovas have been having problems like this for years. Now, he tells me city workers will continue to visit the Cordovas weekly to make sure the sewage issues do not return. We'll continue to track the story and make sure that doesn't happen. Live in studio, Steve Solis, Channel 5 News at 5.
If you need 5 on Your Side, we're only a click away at krgv.com. That's where you'll find the form to contact us, or you can send us an email at 5onyourside@krgv.com. The Hidalgo County Fire Marshal continues to investigate an overnight house fire, and now they're asking for the public's help. The fire broke out about 10 o'clock last night near the intersection of Pecan Grove and FM 1015. That's also known as International Boulevard. That home sits on an empty lot surrounded by several other homes. Weslaco fire crews believe that it was suspicious activity. This house, we're told, has been under construction for the past 5 years. Officials are trying to get a hold of the home owners. If you have any information about the home or this fire, you're asked to contact the Weslaco Fire Department. That number is 447-1990.
A possible serial killer may be off the streets. We'll show you how the case unraveled and how the man has ties to Texas.
Police in Virginia may be one step closer to solving the disappearance of a missing college student. We'll show you what they have found when Channel 5 News at 5 continues.
Breaking news. Breaking stories. This is Channel 5 News with Oscar Adame, Melissa Correa, and First Warn 5 weather with Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith. This is Channel 5 News at 5.
Chevy dealers.
A missing persons case in Indiana opened the door to more investigations when a man led police to a body.
And this afternoon, authorities say they are reconstructing the trail of a serial killer who has ties right here in Texas. ABC's John Ehrlichman has more.
19-year-old Africa Hardy was found strangled to death at this Motel 6 in Hammond, Indiana. Police say 43-year-old Gary resident Darren Vann, who is in custody, confessed to killing her, but allegedly also claimed to authorities he's been killing in Indiana for years.
It could go back as far as 20 years, based on some statements we have.
Authorities say Vann, a registered sex offender in Texas, solicited women on Chicago Backpage, which is like Craigslist but with an adult services section. Police say Hardy was in a prostitution ring advertised on Backpage and had an arranged meeting with Vann. Investigators tracked Vann down through his cell phone. They say he confessed not only to Hardy's murder, but many more.
It was like a domino effect.
Vann allegedly led police to 6 more female bodies in abandoned homes, including 35-year-old Anith Jones, who was reported missing October 8th by her family. On Facebook, Hammond Mayor Thomas McDermott Jr. called Vann an admitted serial killer, who he says admitted to a couple of homicides in Hammond back in 1994 or 95. And Hammond police indicated there could be more names and bodies to come.
His level of cooperation and the things he's told us would indicate that possible other victims could surface.
Meanwhile, the mayor of Gary says the city is looking through its list of missing people to see if there's anyone else that might fit the profile of Vann's alleged victims. John Ehrlichman, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Human remains found on Saturday may be those of Hannah Graham. She is a University of Virginia student who vanished on September 13th.
And the man Graham was last seen with, 32-year-old Jesse Leroy Matthew Jr., has been charged with her abduction. He's being held without bond. Police continue to search for clues around a dry creek bed on an abandoned property in central Virginia. The Virginia State Medical Examiner is working to confirm the identity of the remains.
Now, those remains. The remains found were a skull, bones, and a pair of dark-colored pants similar to the pair that Graham was wearing the night that she went missing. Over the weekend, Graham's parents got the phone call that they had been dreading.
This, sadly, is now a death investigation.
Thousands of hours have been spent by literally hundreds of law enforcement and civilian volunteers in an effort to find Hannah. We think perhaps today proved their worth.
Sources say Matthew knows the area where the remains were found because he has family nearby. The site, 5 miles from where searchers found the body of college student Morgan Harrington back in 2010. Investigators say there is forensic evidence linking Matthew to that case.
Across the valley today, scattered showers once again. The rain chances will start to diminish the next few days. When we come back, your First Warn 5 forecast for El South Plus, Meal Plus Port Isabel, and the rest of the valley next.
And now, First Warn 5 weather with Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith.
Hey folks, a lot of the valley has stayed dry today, but those places that have gotten rained on have seen some pretty good rain. What's left, a pretty good shower up in the northern part of Hidalgo County. That's kind of moving down to the west-southwest, just showing up right here. Most of the other stuff kind of fading away. Little showers dot the area. We've been watching the stuff headed into the McAllen, Far Edinburgh area, into San Juan. What's left of that, just a little bit, but you see stuff just kind of dots the skies today. Another one of those days where if you're not being rained on, you look off in the distance, you can see the big tall clouds or the dark clouds that are creating rain. Not very far away from you. Weatherbug is at the beach looking out at the Gulf, and boy, it's beautiful out there from the East LeGrand Beach Resort. Another gorgeous day, 81 degrees, winds out of the east-southeast, about 10. Water temperature still warm, still a good time to hang out right there at the beach. Let's go back to the maps and let's look. The radar, again, things should quiet down the next hour or so. Temperature's a little cooler where it's been raining. Edinburgh at the airport out north of town, 78 degrees, on and off rain there the last hour or two. Most of the rest of the valley in the 80s as we speak. Tonight, I think we do drop back into the upper 60s, except at the coast where it'll stay in the 70s. More humid there. Rest of South Texas, these are currents. 74. It's been raining on and off all day in Corpus. It's been a mess there. They had a lot of rain over the weekend. Zoom out, look at the rest of Texas, and you can tell there's no push of cold air anywhere. And right now we don't see a push of cold air. If anything, we see a push of drier air, which will push this rain out of here eventually. You can see most of the rain concentrated in our part of the state. And out in West Texas, the rest of the state pretty quiet today. If we look at future track, there's a front up north that's going to fall apart before it gets here, but we'll still probably see some slightly drier air build in as a result of that. If we zoom out and look, the area we're watching really carefully is down here in the southwest Gulf, the Bay of Campeche. That system expected to stay well to our south, but it's going to concentrate the moisture. You know, it kind of pulls it all in. We have a couple leftover showers tomorrow and Wednesday, and then after that I think it's gone because this system starts to pull away, takes a lot of the moisture with it. That old front washes out, but some of the drier air filters down into here, so humidity goes down a little bit. Temperatures stay mild. Looks like most of the rest of the week after that. Cool nights and warm days. Chance of rain tomorrow still at 30%, Wednesday at 10, and I think we're dry by Thursday. High temperatures hovering right around normal. Normal's 87. We'll be right in that ballpark. We're not going to threaten the records at all anytime soon. So this system out here, the Hurricane Center, is giving it a 50% chance of developing in the next 2 days and 60% in the next 5 days. But notice its movement is eastward. We expect no direct impact from that at all. Again, if anything, it'll take moisture away from us and dry things out down here. But maybe folks in South Florida, Cuba, that area really should pay attention to this one over the next few days, as there's potential for some impact, at least rain, if nothing else. So tonight, partly cloudy and mild, 68 for a low, east-northeasterly winds. Then tomorrow, partly sunny, like today, isolated showers, thunderstorm in a couple of spots, 85 for the high. Back to 87 on Wednesday as the rain chances begin to taper off, and then that slightly drier air filters in for the end of the week. And notice that keeps temperatures in the 80s by day, drops into the low 60s at night, all the way through the weekend into the first part of next week. That's your updated First Warn 5 forecast.
ISIS militants took some major hits from the U.S. military over the weekend.
We'll tell you the additional help Kurdish fighters are getting after the break.
You can taste.
In the Middle East, U.S. warplanes are keeping up airstrikes against ISIS forces on the move.
U.S. trying to break the ISIS siege of Kobani. ABC's Susan Solney shows how those U.S. strikes are working.
U.S. airstrikes pounded ISIS targets over the weekend in the bloody fight for the Syrian city of Kobani. And overnight, a crucial new development. American aircraft dropped arms, ammunition, and medical supplies to help the Kurdish militia forces who've been under ISIS assault for weeks. A much-needed lifeline. Brian Wilson is a U.S. citizen who is fighting with the Kurdish forces against ISIS.
They're outgunned. They're brave fighters. They just need more help. I mean, if they had, better technology, better weapons, they could finish Daesh on their own.
The supplies came from Kurdish authorities in Iraq, And this morning, human rights observers on the ground are confirming that the airdrop supplies have reached activists and militiamen battling ISIS. The U.S. has been wanting to support these Kurdish forces at Kobani because in this fierce battle, the tide may be turning in the larger campaign against ISIS. More than 135 U.S. airstrikes in Kobani against ISIS have pushed the militants back and weakened their ranks.
And if he continues to present us with major targets, as he has done in the Kobani area, then clearly we'll service those targets, and we've done so very, very effectively here of late.
American officials admit Kobani could still fall, but insist the real goal is degrading ISIS as a whole. The U.S. is focusing on pounding the group's lucrative captured oil facilities. One of those overnight airstrikes actually targeted a pellet of supplies that had fallen outside the drop zone, all to make sure those supplies don't fall into ISIS's hands. Susan Salney, ABC News, Washington.
Still spotty showers across the valley, but most areas are dry. Weatherbug northeast McAllen, it was wet there at Lone Star National Bank earlier, but now the roads are drying out in time for the evening commute. We'll check that forecast one more time when we come back.
Let's take a look ahead on what's coming up on Channel 5 News at 6. A local landowner may face animal cruelty charges after neglected and malnourished horse is found on his property.
And early voting is underway today. We're going to introduce you to the 4 candidates in the running for Hidalgo County Sheriff.
As you take a peek at the next 7 days, you can see the rain chances kind of dwindle. There's a chance again tomorrow, like today, spotty showers and a thunder shower or two. Wednesday, very stray. Things become even harder to come by the time we get to Wednesday. And then Thursday through Monday, partly sunny, nice, 80s for highs, 60s for lows with plenty of sunshine. Again, it looks like that rain chance pretty much out of here by the end of this week and will stay gone for quite some time. That's an update for you. We'll have another at 6.
Just keep that umbrella with you.
Yeah, just in case, for at least another day,
just
maybe.
In case. All right, we thank you so much for being with us tonight at 5.
ABC's World News tonight up next, followed by Channel 5 News at 6. Hope you can stick around and join us for all of that and mucho más. All right. Have a great evening.
Bye-bye.